Hey guys, it's John here from Sonic Drive Studio. I hope you're all doing well. It's time for another high gain pickup comparison. The last time I used my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier amplifier, but this time we're going to compare the pickups through the legendary Peavey 6505. Since the last time, one factor has improved since I will now be using 3 guitars of the exact same model. So I will be using 3 of my ESP LTD Phoenixes, and each one has a different pickup in the bridge position. The first is the Phoenix 1000 Deluxe with the passive Seymour Duncan Custom in the bridge. The second is the Phoenix Arctic Metal with the active EMG 81TW in the bridge. The EMG 81TW is basically the same as the EMG 81, that classic EMG that we all know from those classic records. But this one simply has a coil split option, which we will not be using in this video. And then we have the Phoenix Black Metal with the Fishman Fluence Modern in the bridge. So that's basically an active pickup, but it also has a passive voicing. So we're going to compare those two voicings in this test as well. The guitars are very similar in construction. They have the same body wood type, so mahogany for the body and mahogany for the neck as well. They all have ebony boards. They all have a 25.5-inch scale. They're all in the same tuning, of course, which is drop C, and they all use the same brand of strings, which is Elixir. And they are all 11-gauge string sets, so the strings are also exactly the same. Now there might be some small variations in between the guitars because of the actual body woods that they used, but let me assure you that the differences in between the pickups will be much more drastic. So I think that this is a pretty fair and honest comparison, despite the fact that I'm not using the exact same guitar for each of the pickups. I think that you'll be able to hear a pretty significant difference between all the pickups, even in this high gain setting. But to what extent will that matter, and which sound will you prefer? That's the question. I will be using the exact same settings on the Peavey 6505 throughout, of course. I'm on the lead channel, and I'm using the high gain input. Bass and treble are set to 6, and mids to 5. Both presence and resonance are set to around 8. Gain is set to around 5, and post gain at 2. The amp will be fed into my wonderful Red 7 amplification Amp Central reactive load, and then into a York Audio impulse response from the MES412 OS package. The mic mix 01 file, to be precise, that's a mic mix that I like to use often because it's based on a very popular and classic blend of mics, which is a 57 and a 121. And that IR pack is based on a Mesa Boogie oversized 4x12 rectifier cabinet loaded with vintage 30s. And that's always a great fit for these types of amplifiers. First, let's take a listen to all the different pickups. And we're going to start with the Phoenix Deluxe 1000 with the passive Seymour Duncan custom pickup. Here we go. That sounded great! It had plenty of output for this amplifier. An open, clear and dynamic sound with plenty of highs and lows. I really like the sound of this pickup with this amplifier. I think it sounds huge. Now let's check out the Phoenix Arctic Metal with the EMG 81TW. Here we go. Awesome! Definitely a different sound. The output seemed to be lower than the passive Seymour Duncan, and it just had that classic EMG sound, so kind of compressed and with a slightly more narrow frequency range. I like EMG pickups, so I thought that this pickup sounded fine in this comparison so far. Now let's check out the Phoenix Black Metal with the Fishman Fluence Modern pickup in it. Definitely the most modern pickup of the bunch, and we're going to start with the active voicing, so let's check that out right now. Great! This pickup definitely had more output than the active EMG. It also had a tighter frequency response, a bit more cut in the mids or the upper mids, and a tighter low end as well, so even less low end thump than the EMG. So the active voicing on the Fishman basically sounds as if there's a sort of tube screamer or boost pedal up front, which is something that a lot of guitarists like to do, of course, to make their amp sound more tight. So it does have that more tight, compressed and kind of aggressive sound. I like it. It can definitely work well with the right amplifier and the right settings. Now let's pull up the volume pot on that same guitar and let's try the passive voicing of the Fishman Fluence Modern. Here we go. Interesting. A very different sound indeed coming from that same pickup. This voice definitely had a lower output, a bit more of a dynamic sound, and more low-end thump as well. So definitely more reminiscent of an actual passive pickup. Not bad. So far each pickup definitely has its own thing going on. Now let's put them all side by side in an A-B back-to-back comparison. Here we go. Very interesting. And now also, of course, in an isolated setting, so with the drums and bass turned off. Here we go. All right, well that definitely confirms my descriptions of these pickups in general, I think. I think they all have their place and they all sound great in their own way. Is one of them better than the others? I'm not sure. I guess it depends on your personal preferences. So do let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are, because I'd love to know. Did you prefer the passive Seymour Duncan pickup, or the EMG 81TW, or the Fishman Fluence Modern? And if so, which of the two voicings did you prefer? The active or the passive voicing? So let me know, and also let me know which amplifier I should feature next in a similar video. That's all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date on all my activities. And you can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Cheers!